This tutorial is for 6th grade, Module 4, Lesson 10. In this lesson, we're going to look at equations and their solutions when they have variables. In the first part, I have 3 different tables. Each table has a column for the variable and then an expression. We are to figure out the missing variable values for each solution to the expression. For example, in the first one, if I put a 0 in place of the variable in the expression, my solution is 5, because 0 plus 5 equals 5. If I put a 1 in the place of the variable, my solution is 6, because 1 plus 5 equals 6. The next solution is 7, so what number would I have to replace the x with to get 7 for an answer? Well, 2 plus 5 is 7, so in that case, the x would equal 2. The next solution is 10. Well, 5 plus 5 equals 10. The last solution is 15. What number would I replace the x with to get 15 for an answer? Well, 10 plus 5 is 15, so 10 would replace the variable. In the next table, my expression is 3 times x. Well, if I replace the x with 0, 3 times x equals 0. If I replace the x with 1, 3 times 1 equals 3. Here I have a solution of 6. So what number would I multiply 3 times to get 6 for an answer? Well, 3 times 2 equals 6. And what number would I replace the x with to get 9 for an answer? Well, 3 times 3 is 9. And what number would I replace the x with to get 30 for an answer? Well, 3 times 10 is 30. In the last column, my expression is x divided by 4. Well, when I replace the x with a 0, I get 0 for an answer. 0 divided by 4 is 0. If I replace the x with a 4, I get 1 for an answer. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Well, some number, when I divide by 4, I get an answer of 2. Well, that would be an 8. If I replace the x with an 8, 8 divided by 4 equals 2. If I replace the x with some number and divide it by 3, I get 4 for an answer. Well, 12 divided by 4 equals 3, so I would replace the x with 12. And if I replace the x with some number and divide it by 4, I get 4 for an answer. Well, 16 divided by 4 equals 4. So in each case, the variable has a different value depending on the solution. Here we're given different equations with a solution, and we have to decide if a certain number can replace the x to give us that solution. So for example, in question A, the equation is x plus 8 equals 15. Does it make sense that x would equal 7? Well, since 7 plus 8 does equal 15, then we say yes, the x equals 7. In question B, I have x minus 2 equals 9. Well, if we replace the x with 7, 7 minus 2 does not equal 9. So no, in this case, the x is not 7. In question C, I have 3 times x equals 24. Does x equal 8? Well, 3 times 8 is 24, so yes. In this case, the x equals 8. In question D, I have 8 times x equals 4. Does x equal 1/2? Well, 8 times 1/2 equals 8 halves, which equals 4. So yes, in this problem, the x equals 1/2. In question E, we have x divided by 2 equals 12. Does x equal 6? Well, 6 divided by 2 equals 3. So no, x does not equal 6 because it doesn't give us a solution of 12. And in question F, we have 25 minus x equals 19. Does x equal 6? Well, 25 minus 6 does equal 19. So yes, in this case, the x equals 6. So again, we use that solution to decide if a number can be substituted in the place of the x. In the last section, we're going to use mental math to find the value of x for each equation. Question A says we have x plus 10 equals 14. So some number plus 10 gives me 14 as a sum. Well, in this case, x would equal 4 because 4 plus 10 is 14. In question B, I have some number minus 5 equals 3. Well, if I have 8 and I take away 5, I get 3. So x equals 8. In question C, I have 4 times some number equals 20. Well, 4 times 5 would give me a product of 20. So x equals 5. In question D, I have x divided by 7 equals 3. So some number divided by 7 will give me 3 for a quotient. Well, 21 divided by 7 gives me 3, so x equals 21. In question E, I have 40 and I divide it by some number and I get 5 for a quotient. Well, if I have 40 and I divide it by 8, I get 5 for an answer. So x equals 8. And in question F, I have 7 plus some number equals 15. Well, 7 plus 8 equals 15, so here x equals 8. So again, we find the value of x by considering the solution and what number makes that equation true.